Hi, gorgeous. I'm delighted you stopped by. Welcome to the first edition of Lipstick and Literacy, where I combine two of my favorite things, reading and makeup. And I'm bringing them together today. Our very first book I have is called Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. I love this book. So this is the first in a series, the Nevermoor series, by Jessica Townsend. This one was published in 2017. Many moons ago, I was a children's librarian. And in that time, I was like our juvenile fiction sort of middle grade expert, to be the expert. And in order to know how to recommend the best books, you've got to know what books you have. So I started reading exclusively juvenile fiction. And I found out that that is actually my favorite. So I put the adult books away and I haven't really looked back much since then. I find them more fun. It's a lot of adventure and magic. I love fantasy things, but it doesn't get bogged down with angst or what I deem sometimes an unnecessary romance plot. It just gets straight to the heart of everything. So this is my favorite kind of book to read. But this one's not just for me. Everyone I have recommended this book to loves it, even people who don't normally read these sorts of things. My sister, who mostly reads nonfiction, loved this book. Andrew loved this book. The narration is great, because sometimes that really can make or break it. So even if you listen to it on audiobook, great. This book is just so good. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and then we're going to get into today's look. So I guess I should begin by telling you that Morrigan Crow is cursed. Morrigan Crow was born in the city of Jackalfax, in the state of Great Wolfacre, in the Wintersea Republic, on eventide, the unluckiest day for any child to be born. Morrigan is blamed for everything bad that happens in her town. From heart attacks to weather events, it's always Morrigan's curse at fault. Worst of all, the curse dooms her to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. As Morrigan and her family eat Morrigan's favorite dinner, her birthday meal, her last meal, a knock at the door changes her fate. Oh, a strange, remarkable, extremely ginger man named Jupiter North appears. He whisks Morrigan away, chased by black smoke hounds and shadowy hunters on horseback. The hunt of smoke and shadow. Jupiter brings Morrigan to safety in the magical city of Nevermoor. There's this scene in the book that I've chosen for today's look. The hunt of smoke and shadow. The hunt of smoke and shadow is described as... To Morrigan, it looked like a swarm of locusts or a cloud of bats, but it was too low and loud to be either. The sound of hooves became deafening as the dark mass grew closer. Among the black were hundreds of specks of fiery red light, getting brighter by the second. The amorphous figure began to take shape. Heads and faces and legs grew out of the swarm, and Morrigan felt her stomach drop. The glowing red lights weren't lights at all. They were eyes. The eyes of men, the eyes of horses, and the eyes of hounds. Not individuals made of flesh, more like a single living shadow. They were darkness, a pure absence of light, and they moved with purpose. They were hunting. How great is that? Oh! This author, Jessica Townsend, is so good at really painting a picture with her words and, makes it really suspenseful and but you could picture it, and I just love it. So today's look is going to be inspired by the hunt of smoke and shadows. It's going to be kind of red and black. To prepare our smoke and shadow eye, I have some Urban Decay Primer Potion. We're going to start in the Kesha Rose palette in this bright red called Cannibal. I'm going to put this in the crease. Now it's here in Nevermoor. Morrigan discovers Jupiter has actually chosen her specifically for a reason. He has chosen her to compete for a space in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. In order to join and stay in Nevermoor where she is safe, rather than return to Jackalfax where the smoke and shadow will find her once more, Morrigan must compete in 4 very difficult and dangerous trials against hundreds of other children. Using the packerish end of the brush that comes in the Naked palette, I'm going to use Hustle, this one that's the third darkest shade, and I'm going to put that over the lid. Now I don't want to give too much away because this is a book talk and not a recap, but I will tell you she befriends a boy who is a very gifted dragon rider. She lives at the Hotel Deucalion, which has an ever-changing color-switching chandelier, and a Magnificat named Fenestra. And they get to take trips on the Brawley Rail, where you hook the end of your umbrella on the rail as it goes by and use it as public transport. The flap on the book says that it'll be perfect for Neil Gaiman, Harry Potter, or Mysterious Benedict Society fans, and I loved all those things. I mean, Neil Gaiman, Harry Potter, favorite series of all time. Mysterious Benedict Society, very good. In the outer corner, I'm taking the Sephora angled brush, and I'm going to go into Tonight, which is like a black with a little bit of a sparkle in it. But with the Mysterious Benedict Society, that's one where I can tell you how the narrator of the audiobook can really make or break a series, because it's... The book was like about a 10-year-old boy, and they had the oldest man on earth narrating it. And I still enjoyed the story, but I had like checked out a stack of like the whole series. This is when I had to drive an hour each way to my job, so I was listening to a lot of audiobooks at that time. So I checked out the entire series, and I listened to the first one, and I checked them all the discs in, and I checked all the books out. Because it was still a good story, but I mean, sometimes with a unbelievable narrator, it's not as good as it could be. So I can tell you the narrator on this one, though, is fantastic. So you really can't go wrong either way, book or audiobook form. I'm going to take this EcoTools brush, make sure it's clean in my color switch, and then I'm going to take my Urban Decay Moondust palette. This one, I'm going to go into this red one called Element. I'm going to do the above transition with that one. Yeah. Red glitter. So even if you don't think that a children's book would be your bag, I highly suggest you at least try it out. If you do enjoy anything that's got fantasy elements or a great adventure or supreme description and world building, I definitely recommend that you check this book out. Woo! Okay, well, good thing we're not done yet because it's a little crazy right now. Let's clean up those inner corners a bit. On this little tiny fluffy brush end of this double-ended tart guy, I'm going to go into this sort of bronzy goldy color in my Moondust palette, and we're going to put that on our inner corner and kind of blend it up towards the beginning of our brow. And just for funsies, I'm going to take this EcoTool brush we were using and go into Granite here in the corner that's sort of a slate gray glitter in the Moondust, and I'm going to put that over our black, because you can never have too much glitter. Alright, we're getting there. It's amazing how much a look can look like a whole lot and a whole lot of nothing all at the same time. It's looking a whole lot of red and not a lot of shadow, so I'm going to go back into Kesha, and I'm going to take this tiny little rounded packer brush, and I'm going to go back into Tonight, our black, and I'm going to build that up a little bit where it can sort of, this one I think will build up the pigment instead of blending it in. Yeah, I think that's working. When in doubt, blend it out. My ColourPop E2. You can tell I'm not used to working with black eyeshadow. I guess that's smoky and shadowy enough. Let's just move on. Let's take our makeup wipe and get under our eyes. Now I'm going to take my KVD tattoo liner and make a wing. I don't know, I felt like drawing a line up there might make it look a little cooler because I wasn't really happy with the way it had turned out, and I kind of really love it. I think it does need one more thing though. So it does definitely have the red in there, and it's very smoke and shadowy, but I think we need to go in with our finger on that red sparkle moon dust element. Stamp that right in the inner corner. Yes. So it's not blended in with the dark. It really stands out like the eyes of all of the hunters and dogs and horses. There it is. There it is. All right, let's take what's ever left on the end of our packer brush, and I'm going to use that to just smoke out the lower lash line a little. And on our waterline, I'm going to take this ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the color Swerve. I'm going to prime my face with Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. For foundation, I'm going to go in with the Morphe 2 Hint Hint Skin Tint in the color Hint of Marshmallow. I'm going to use my Juno & Co. sponge, and I'm going to put this on super, super carefully around my eyes. Got a weird little dropper. Very liquidy. I didn't think that this would be good for my skin type, but I've actually been kind of enjoying it. Maybe I'll have to do a foundation wear test on it. I've so far not worn it like out of the house, just messing around doing makeup looks, but I thought it would be totally sheer based on, you know, it's called Hint Hint and it's skin tint. So I wouldn't have even picked it up if I hadn't seen other people doing reviews and they're like, no, it's not a skin tint. It's more like a medium coverage foundation. I kind of have to agree with them. It's definitely not what I would think of as a skin tint. It definitely gives you a lot more coverage than a skin tint, but it's also really, really lightweight. So it's very, I mean, you saw it come out of the dropper. It's very liquidy. So the first time I put it on, I was like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. But it actually, I think it performs better on me than the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. That's the only one I've tried on its own so far of my two ColourPop ones, and it melted like so bad. By the end of the day, there was no foundation in like the whole middle of my face, and I only had it on for 6 hours, which is half the time that I end up usually doing for a foundation wear test, and it had just slid right off. Not loving the Pretty Fresh, but I didn't think I would. Like, I was so surprised by the reviews of people who said they had oily skin who it really worked for, because it's a hydrating foundation and it does just, it slides right off me. But this stuff actually doesn't seem to. It's got a sort of that second skin quality. I really like it. I really thought I wouldn't like it, but I really like it. So, hint, hint, skin tint. To conceal, I'm going to use my Shape Tape, and I'm going to put really carefully a dot each on the inner and outer corner of my eye, just a little up down the nose, and in my highlighty points, and on my blemishes down on my chin. I'm going to tap it out with my finger around my eyes so that we don't mess up all our hard work. When you tap it out with your fingers and you don't have a sponge absorbing any of it, you really only need a drop or two. It is so full coverage. Despite being a very textured and acne prone person, I like to go in easy with the concealer. So I'm going to blend the concealer out with my Juno & Co. sponge on my other points. Ooh, maybe I only needed one drop under my eyes because they are glowing, although it's better than dark circles for sure. To set, I have this Urban Decay All-Nighter Longwear Mattifying Weightless Powder. So it's a compact, but it says it's a waterproof setting powder. But I did get it for half price during the Ulta sale, so I was very interested to see how it lays down. My skin and I are always looking for a good powder. I think that did some mattifying. Brows, I'm going to use my Precisely My Brow by Benefit. Going into our Too Faced Natural Skin Palette, I'm going to take Pink Wink on this Real Techniques blush brush. Ooh, I dipped in really vigorously apparently. Let's be careful. Alright, well, We're going to be very rosy today. Bronzer, I'm going to take this Tarte face brush and dip into Sunny Honey. And on my Tarte little highlighter brush, I'm going to dip into Starlight for the highlight. That is so beautiful. I love that highlighter. But I want to really blind today for some reason. I just feel like I'm in an extra highlighty kind of mood. So I'm going to take my Nikki Tutorials Highlighting Trio by Ofra Cosmetics. And I'm going to go into Glazed Donut. There. Today I want to blind you from space with my highlight. For mascara, I'm going to go into Go Big or Go Home by KVD Vegan Beauty. I bought this sampler pack of mascaras from Sephora like a million years ago, what feels like. But you have to go in the store to exchange the voucher that you get in it for a full size of whichever one you choose. So I finally just sucked it up and went in today, and I got the Go Big or Go Home. This is the largest mascara I think I've ever seen. It's in the color Trooper Black. Let's see how it goes. I bought it so long ago, I couldn't remember which of the 5 samples I actually liked the best, and I just kind of stab at the dark in it. But I really like that mascara. I think that was beautiful. And look how well it did on those little lower lashes. This is a good one. I'm going to line my lips with this ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the color I Heart This. And to go over that, I'm going to use the Kesha Rose Raising Hell lipstick. Love that name, and I love this color red. To finish the lips, I'm going to go into the Sugar Pill Flicker Lip Gloss. You concentrate it kind of in the middle. Only thing left to do is seal it in with some setting spray. Today I'm going to use the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. I don't know if it's as hydrating as they claim, but it smells so good. Alright, that's the look for today. It was really iffy there for quite a while, but I think it came out super, super cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. One of my favorite things to do is sharing books that I love. So let me know down in the comments if you've been inspired to go read this, or if there's a book that you would like me to cover, please put it down in the comments. I'm always looking for new books to read as well as recommending books to others. Check it out from your local library. If you don't feel comfortable going into the library or doing curbside service, you can buy this from any bookstore, including Amazon. Check it out. Nevermoor, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. The second one is already out, and the third one should be out in the next couple of months. So if you enjoy this, there's plenty more where that came from. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know that you enjoy these things. I had a lot of fun making this video, so I really hope you had fun watching it, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye! Today I had both of my girls keeping me company. Hi, Sadie. Hi, Roro, look at me. Roro, say hi. Oh, she got itch. Sadie being beautiful, Rosilly being itchy. It's pretty typical of these two. Oh, I love you so much. You're the best.